Michelle Obama surprised fans on our new podcast by saying her pet peeve about her husband is that he's chronically late. For example, we're still waiting on him to admit he's from Kenya. And as for Barack's pet peeve about Michelle, he's mad that she keeps leaving the toilet seat up. When she cleans it. When she cleans it.
Greg Gutfeld didn't just roast Michelle Obama. He torched the carefully crafted persona she spent years building, with biting sarcasm. He shredded her media empire, her endless lectures, and her constant attempts to rewrite her own legacy. This wasn't mild critique. It was a full-blown takedown. Gutfeld spotlighted the contradictions, the hypocrisies, and the staged narratives that keep her in the public eye. By the end, Michelle's polished image looked less like inspiration and more like a house of cards ready to collapse.
Even if they run Michelle. According to a new poll, Michelle Obama isn't as strong a Democratic candidate against former President Donald Trump as many Dems would have you believe. In a hypothetical matchup, my favorite kind. Trump wins with 47% of the vote compared to Michelle Obama's 44%. I guess some of the kids whose school lunches she ruined are finally old enough to vote.
Watching Greg Gutfeld go after Michelle Obama is like watching a master chef slice through an onion. Fast, sharp, and sure it makes someone cry. For years, Michelle has worked to perfect her aura as America's favorite motivational speaker turned lifestyle guru. But Gutfeld cut straight through the facade. Forget the photo ops, the choreographed interviews, and the Instagram perfect advice. He exposes a brand that's polished like a campaign ad, yet feels less authentic than a reality TV confessional.
Have to use our voices to make these choices clear to the men that we love. Our lives are worth more than their anger and disappointment.
What's that pitter-patter sound I'm hearing in the background? That's the footsteps of Barack running to vote for Trump.
If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Michelle Obama has somehow convinced people that kale recipes and dance routines on daytime TV make her a national treasure. Gutfeld isn't buying it. He slices through the illusion of universal admiration, pointing out that much of her popularity is manufactured. Behind the endless pep talks about hope and positivity is someone who's been coasting on political celebrity for over a decade. The irony of preaching resilience from multimillion-dollar mansions isn't lost on Gutfeld. He shows how her message of empowerment feels more like a recycled Hallmark card than genuine wisdom.
Needing attention over a old letter. What? I should read that again. Anyway, no, we'll just keep going. The New York Post obtained a redacted portion of a handwritten letter the former president sent to his then-college girlfriend, Alex McNear. Alex, eh?
Then there's Michelle's endless promotion as the nation's role model. Gutfeld mocks how she built an empire out of telling people to exercise and plant vegetables. Take her school lunch initiative. It was supposed to inspire a generation, but ended up sending kids straight to vending machines. What was meant to be a legacy of nutrition, reform instead, became one of the most ridiculed public health campaigns in modern memory.
So, Kat, they know that they're having a hard time with men.
Right.
Doesn't seem like this is the right strategy.
No.
She basically says that they're hurting women by voting for Trump.
But I think they don't understand that where it comes from in the first place is that people are sick of being told how bad they are and talked down to, and you know, the condescension doesn't work. None of what they're doing really works. I mean, the Walls AOC live stream of them playing Madden together was supposed to be to get like dudes who like football on their side, and they did it during football.
And of course, there's Michelle's love of the spotlight. Gutfeld relentlessly exposes how she treats every public appearance as if it's historic. From book tours that sell empowerment at $50 a seat, to documentaries that play more like self-promotion than inspiration, to magazine covers designed to keep her untouchable. Her brand is everywhere. Gutfeld dismantles the illusion, noting how Michelle has achieved what most celebrities only dream of, turning herself into the product. Her name alone is now a label slapped onto speeches, specials, and overpriced books that recycle the same message again and again.
Talked about his, quote, androgynous mind and wrote, and I'm quoting Obama here, I make love to men daily, but in the imagination. Kat, it's fantasizing. Is fantasizing about having sex with men gay?
Well, as an expert in man-on-man gay sex,
That's why I asked you.
I think it's so horrible that somebody released this.
Gutfeld skewers the idea that Michelle Obama is just a humble, relatable figure. Relatable? Hardly. He highlights the absurdity of someone living in a $12 million Martha's Vineyard mansion telling ordinary Americans to be grateful for what they have. The hypocrisy is glaring. It's one thing to preach hard work and perseverance. It's another to do it from the patio of a seaside estate while sipping cocktails. And then there's the media's endless worship. Late-night hosts, glossy magazines, and talk shows treat Michelle like a modern-day oracle. Every outfit becomes a headline. Every bland remark gets dissected like scripture. Every public move is packaged as a gift to the nation. Gutfeld refuses to join the cult, mocking the way journalism has been replaced with marketing disguised as admiration.
It's that she projected as if the men are the only ones angry in the house. So every man who's been in a house where inflation's high, the electric bill's doubled, you're not getting cheers from the wife and kids. They're complaining, they're suffering, you're hearing it every day. Men, for the most part, and I'm grouping here a little bit, and I don't like to group, but we tend to internalize things, we want to solve something.
As for Michelle's supposed role as a unifier, Gutfeld laughs at the claim. For all her talk about bringing people together, she rarely hesitates to frame anyone outside her worldview as backward or uninspired. He points out the divisive undertones the media conveniently ignores. Her message of hope always comes with strings attached. Agree with her politics, or you're part of the problem. That isn't unity, Gutfeld says. It's a sales pitch dressed up as inspiration.
Will the Dems ever win again, as long as they keep hating men? Our video of the day is a 2-for-1 man haters special. First up, Michelle trashes dudes while urging women to act more like them.
We're always hedging, because in the back of our minds, we weren't raised with the certainty of maleness that, kind of the confidence that young men in their 30s have, which they haven't earned. They just have.
Michelle's jump into entertainment doesn't escape the roast either. From Netflix deals to endless speaking tours, she's fully embraced celebrity culture while pretending she's somehow above it. Gutfeld dismantles the idea that she's simply sharing her story. In reality, she's cashing in on political connections like any savvy brand mogul would. And while there's nothing wrong with business, he laughs at how she disguises her empire as a noble mission. Her books, filled with vague empowerment cliches, read more like participation trophies and profound insights. Yet the media treats them like sacred texts. Gutfeld doesn't mince words. This isn't literature. It's branding wrapped in virtue signaling.
Men can't name masculine Democrats. So, Congresswoman, according to a new study by a think tank, young men struggle to name any masculine Democrat leaders besides Barack Obama. Saying it's the Republican Party that best represent men's interests. Are you surprised by this? Where did the Dems go wrong?
Even her years as First Lady aren't safe. While the media gushes over her style and grace, Gutfeld mocks how shallow that praise really is. He ridicules the idea that sleeveless dresses and dance cameos on Ellen somehow make her a cultural icon. To him, Michelle's legacy is style over substance. And perhaps his sharpest blow comes when he calls out the myth that she's above criticism. The media acts as if questioning her curated image is blasphemy, as though she's beyond reproach. Gutfeld dismantles that myth, arguing that Michelle is no symbol of authenticity at all. Every move, he says, is scripted and staged, her relatability choreographed with Broadway precision.
We don't start feeling that and owning that until our 50s and 60s, at a time when we start to be treated as invisible in society.
So true. And it reminds me of my new book, Women Are Invisible at Age 50, and I couldn't be happier. Meanwhile, James Carville sunned himself on a hot rock long enough to tell the world what we already knew. Dems gave up on men a long time ago.
The real Michelle, according to Gutfeld, is the one who's mastered the art of monetizing her persona while never risking her status. Authenticity backed by PR teams, ghostwriters, and multimillion-dollar contracts isn't authenticity. It's performance art. From her public crusades to her private luxuries, from her supposed humility to her undeniable elitism, Gutfeld leaves nothing untouched. His roast portrays Michelle Obama not as a national treasure, but as a political celebrity who turned image into empire, a phenomenon built more on media adoration than genuine impact. Even her documentaries and speaking tours come under fire. He calls them soft launches, test runs for how far a carefully crafted brand can go. The problem? Audiences can tell when something's manufactured. And Michelle's brand, Gutfeld says, feels like reheated leftovers. Package is fresh, but everyone knows it's the same old script.
Police had to take this story seriously for years, and it was false.
It wasn't false.
No. For people to understand what happened, all right? Because the problem with this story is that nobody knows what you're talking about. When Trump won in 2016, the intel community concluded that Russia didn't have a hand in his victory. Instead of accepting the inclusion, Obama determined and wanted a new conclusion. So he sent Brennan running to come up with a new conclusion, that there was some kind of trivial involvement that then they could feed out to the...
Gutfeld calls it out with brutal clarity. For someone who constantly preaches authenticity, Michelle operates more like a Hollywood studio exec, where every move is scripted, polished, and packaged for maximum effect. When she talks about rising costs, cultural divides, and broken institutions, Gutfeld points out the glaring irony. These were problems shaped under the very administration she was part of. Her speeches, he argues, aren't solutions. They're sermons, delivered by someone who had power but chose the spotlight without accountability. Even her book tours get roasted, slick productions that rake in money, but offer little substance. To Gutfeld, it's not empowerment. It's a money grab dressed up as sacrifice.
Knowing that there are divorce rumors and, she's not showing up for him, whether it's at the Jimmy Carter funeral or the Trump inauguration or the basketball game he just went to in LA, when visiting their daughters and then dinner with the daughters, was not there. Here she is talking about it. If it were me, I would say something nice about him. I would say, he's just so charming. It was meant to be. I knew he could heal the earth in the way he did. There was only one person who could do it, and it was my husband, Barack Obama, whatever. Then she gets on to talking a little bit about him personally, and this is how that's...
When a girlfriend comes to visit, it's usually like, you gotta stay for 2 days.
And then there's the ever-present fantasy of Michelle Obama as the Democrats' secret weapon. Every election cycle, whispers return about her swooping in to save the day. Gutfeld tears this narrative apart, exposing how Michelle has perfected the art of dangling the possibility without ever stepping in, keeping her name relevant while avoiding the scrutiny real candidates face. It's like holding a carrot over a desperate fan base, teasing endlessly but never delivering. Meanwhile, the media treats her vague platitudes like gospel, praising every line as though it carries profound weight. But Gutfeld cuts through the hype, showing that beneath the polished veneer lies the same ambition, ego, and thirst for influence as any other politician, just hidden behind layers of media worship.
He was covered in dirt, to your life motto. And I thought, look at this guy in this dark, dank, smelly, dirty place with lots of danger, not just this cherry picker, but also the live rail that he's working on, all the wires, having a great time. And then you look at her, and she's still, they have to be billionaires by now.
Sure.
Out on the yachts, the Martha's Vineyard, $22 million estate, totally thriving young daughters who went to Harvard and USC. It's never going to be good enough. It's a mind frame, right? It's like your choice of how you're going to go through.
What makes Gutfeld's roast sting most is a spotlight on the double standard. Michelle Obama can endlessly preach empathy, values, and sacrifice while living a life of luxury that contradicts every word. Multi-million-dollar estates, Hollywood connections, and celebrity status insulate her from the struggles she claims to champion. With biting humor, Gutfeld argues she's become exactly what she once distanced herself from, an elite untouchable. He compares her inspirational speeches to diet soda, sweet at first, but ultimately empty, leaving people less satisfied the more they consume. And the larger point cuts deep. Michelle isn't just another celebrity. She's a symbol of a party clinging to nostalgia, keeping her myth alive because the present feels too shaky. Gutfeld dismantles that myth with brutal precision, reminding audiences that Michelle Obama's legend has become far more useful to her supporters than her reality ever could.